The attention of investors around robotics gets bigger and bigger, and it's not surprising because robotics is basically the next step of AI. Robotics is something AI will be heavily used for. And as probably most of you know, hyperscalers and major companies have been burning tons of money in order to build infrastructure for computing, cloud, and everything that can power AI. So today I will share with you my top picks of robotic stocks. They probably will surprise you because I will not talk about Nvidia in this video, although this is an obvious choice when talking about automation in general. And I will also not talk about Tesla because in my opinion we're years early before the real adoption of humanoid robots. But still I have a couple of my favorite picks which I will share with you today, and I will explain why these companies in my opinion are the best investment choice right now if talking about robotics. By the way, if you're still not a Seeking Alpha member, right now they give a 7-day free trial, which is insane because back about 5 years ago, when I actually became a member of Seeking Alpha myself, I paid the whole sum of money up front and I had no idea what I'm subscribing to. I just read that this is an incredible platform and I actually needed to pay the money to try it out. Right now you have a chance for yourself. This is a 7-day free trial, which happens rarely just because right now it's Black Friday. So you can go subscribe and read all of the articles that you find interesting of mine or maybe of the colleagues of mine on the platform. Let's start this video directly from what robotics is, because I find that mostly when people say robotics, they mean humanoids. But humanoids are actually a really small part of the automation and of the robotics in general as a sector. And here actually I found an interesting research from Morgan Stanley, and they say that the humanoids, only the humanoids, here we're not talking about the vehicles and the flying taxis and the drones and everything else. The humanoids market is likely to reach $5 trillion by 2050, which is insane, that's a lot, and there could be more than 1 billion humanoids in use by 2050. At the same time, adoption should be relatively slow until the mid-2030s, accelerating in the late 2030s and 2040s. Now, about these kind of estimations, I have to tell that we cannot be sure that that's what will happen. You probably remember what was happening back in 2020 when electric vehicles became a thing. Everyone was kind of predicting that this market will boom and that we will adopt like 80% of vehicles by 2025 will be electric vehicles. But that did not happen. So take predictions like that with the grain of salt. But what I actually like about this is the fact that they are not saying that it will happen tomorrow. And I totally agree with Morgan Stanley about this because I had actually a funny encounter with a robot. When I traveled in Portugal, I was in a beautiful city of Porto, and me and my husband went to a restaurant and we tried basically to take a table without ordering previously. So when we entered the restaurant, we saw a robot, basically a hostess or a host that was robotic. And to tell you honestly, the first instinct that I had, a person that lives in Israel, it's a startup nation, we have many developments here and we're like not some kind of people that are afraid of technology. My first instinct was to leave that place and never come back to it again. And actually I would have done that if some of the real human waiters did not see that and did not come and did not help us out. So at that exact moment, it was like 4 months ago, I realized that if I am not ready to adopt a robot, most likely the world isn't ready for this just yet. So fast forward a couple of months, I found this analysis of Morgan Stanley and I connected to it very much because in my opinion we are still so very early in robotics and especially in humanoids. So what then to invest in? And first of all, I have to say that, in my opinion, the best play right now, as we're very early on, is to invest in the companies that will be supporting the companies that try to invent robots. Because many of the companies that try it out will fail on the way, they will bankrupt, but they will be spending a substantial amount of money for research and development. But the companies that will actually power the robots, they will benefit throughout the way from everyone who tries and doesn't succeed, and from everyone who will succeed as well. So my first and probably the best pick right now is Micron stock, which is probably not the most discussed stock in investor communities, for sure not on YouTube, but at the same time the stock of this company is up about 150% in a year, and even more than that in 2025. What is interesting, that even after a surge of this stock from about $110 per share to about $250 per share, I still think it's a great buying opportunity, and I still think that the stock of this company is undervalued because, first of all, a lot of things happened in the last year, and we basically saw the demand for the products of Micron skyrocketing, and it looks like it will only be growing from here. Micron is a highly cyclical business, and it often happens that the stock of this company skyrockets and then falls and then skyrockets again, and basically you could look at the graph and you could see that this is because of the revenues of the company. They either go strongly up and they surge, either they are going down and staying flat for some time. But in general, what's important is that the trend still goes up. So even if this line of the graph goes up and down, if you build a trend line, you will see that it definitely goes up, first of all. And second of all, because of the AI and because of all of this boom, I expect the cycles of Micron to change entirely. Right now I expect the demand to continue for a few more years, let's say for sure to 2027, maybe 2028, and then we will definitely need to reassess and to see what's happening with the stock of this company. But still, I think it has a substantial upside at the moment. Another stock that I really like, and I think this is the answer to the question what to invest in AI, what to invest in space, what to invest in robotics, and what to invest basically in anything, it's Amazon. Amazon is an incredible company. It involves itself in all of the modern, potentially booming technologies and innovations it possibly can. So first of all, Amazon has more than 1 million cobots, which means cooperative robots that work together with the people. And this is not as easy as you think, because to get a permission for robots to work alongside humans, it's not simple. And Amazon had been actually working for a long time to get that permission. Now, this is actually something important for Tesla's investors, because Tesla says they will make humanoids which will be working on the factories, but I, for example, did not see the permission of Tesla to actually deploy robots to work alongside humans. So either Tesla will need to completely switch all of the workers to robots, or it will need to break down the territory to robots only, humans only, as Amazon was doing a few years ago, which wouldn't be what Tesla guides for. Tesla actually says that people and robots will be working all together, and it will be much more efficient, and it all basically will happen very soon. But I am not so sure about that. Besides the fact that Amazon already has many robots deployed in its infrastructure, and besides the fact that it has many data gathered from the robots, it actually builds a park where it will deploy also humanoids, and it will test them in various situations, and it actually wants them to work alongside humans with the deliveries of their products. For some weird reason, even when I was researching this Robotics 101 article of mine, I did not find this information online, even though I read everything related to robots on the website of Amazon. I even opened a list of their open job positions to see how heavy they are in automation and how many engineers they hire right now. And this is my main critique of Amazon. I think it's undervalued. I think the company has huge potential. I think this company will be the enterprise of the world. And I actually think that Amazon is already something that Tesla really wants to be, and I'm not sure it ever will be. But at the same time, Amazon is very, very bad at communication with investors. I'm not sure if you've seen their Project Kuiper. I'm not sure if you've seen the news about the humanoids. I'm not sure if you've seen even half of what this company actually does. And on this market, when every company really fights for the attention of investors, this is a bad part of this company. And this is something that can actually keep the valuation of this company pretty low. So while I consider Amazon probably my strongest picks right now, and I'm really heavy in this stock, I recognize that I may be waiting for a pretty long time for the stock of this company to grow. So these were my strongest picks for robotics and automation as a sector among the companies that aren't speculative, or at least not very speculative. Going to the companies that are more speculative, I have another pick of mine, which is UiPath. I bought the stock of this company recently, just after this market correction happened, and the stock of this company dropped significantly. The stock went sharply down from about $18 per share to about $13.50 per share right now, which is a huge drop. And back in time when it was 18, I actually thought that it was overvalued, but I added it to my watch list. And right now, I recognize that this might be a good opportunity. Can the stock of this company go even further down? It can, because it's a speculative name, but at the same time, I think it has a nice potential for the upside, so I opened not a big position only yesterday. Besides, another company that I really like, but I will not be buying for now, it's Serve Robotics, and this is actually Uber's spin-off for the delivering of products in crowded, in huge cities. And I would really like to break down the stock of this company separately, because I think it has great potential, especially in all of the restaurant industry, and this is something that will power Uber Eats. I am a shareholder of Uber of a long time, and I rate the stock of this company as a buy for quite some time now. So Serve Robotics is another name that I like very much. For now, their financials do not support the bullish thesis, so I'm not rating the stock of this company as a buy, but I definitely follow it. And if it would happen so that the stock of this company would drop to some insane levels of like $1 or $2 per share, even without any fundamentals, I would definitely buy it just to see what will happen with this company in the future. I hope this video was interesting for you, and I would really like to hear your opinion about my picks and in general, what do you invest in automation and in robotics. Thank you for being with me. If you found this information interesting, don't forget to support our video by pressing a like and subscribing to this channel. I'll see you on our channel next time. Happy investing!